Hello everyone, this is my developer report for April 2024. So as expected, as I said last month, I couldn't actually work on many new things because I was running the Freiburg half marathon, and I was also working on backtesting and checking out backtesting frameworks and whatnot. And as I said last time, this took a lot more time, especially in terms of research, rather than doing actual, programming stuff. And that just meant that, as I said last time, there isn't much progress to report on. Let's just quickly go over what I did. So what you can see on the screen at the moment is a standard, or I believe it's the example strategy on backtesting.py. So if you just Google backtesting.py Python, you will find this module, this package. Yeah, so this is the one I was looking at first because this was recommended so I was checking out some of the YouTubers I'm watching, and they obviously have different preferences. But one of them was recommending backtesting.py some time ago. As I said last time, so when you look on Reddit, for example, in the algo trading or the quant trading subreddits, they often recommend to just build your own backtesting framework, and that just seems to be too much work. The reason I actually didn't go ahead and just plainly or stupidly implemented backtesting.py into my strategy is because, so while the entries are pretty easy to do, the way I'm managing the risk is not that easy to do. And from the research and the limited time I had, I couldn't actually work on getting that to work. So what I am using, as you may know, from a strategy perspective, as it's called here, it's just a simple exponential. It's a very straightforward exponential moving average cross, but I'm doing three moving averages in total. So it's a long one, a middle one, and a short one. And when the short and the middle cross, you buy half, and when the middle and the long cross, you buy the other half, basically. And then I'm doing some very fancy things with managing the risk, obviously. So, and that was the reason I couldn't actually work on the strategy itself. But the results this thing produces out of the box would take me a whole lot of time to implement myself. And so I think I might go with backtesting.py, but I definitely have to research how I can work in my portfolio rebalancing. So I'm expecting to rebalance the portfolio once a week, and I need to assess how that affects the performance and whatnot. So there's a whole lot of variables still open. It also comes with its own indicators. So long story short, I couldn't actually work on the backtesting part itself, but I have a glimpse of an idea how the backtesting could work, but I haven't actually implemented it. With the strategy itself, I have been testing a few things and have been working on this to-do that you can see right now. reviewing the trading logic. And in that regard, quite a bit did actually happen, because I realized I had some bugs. Obviously, I had some bugs, but some bugs you just can't really see or catch during development. You actually have to have traded either live or in a simulator for a couple of for a bit of time. What happened here, for example, was I had I believe it was here. You can see that it always says short, 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 short here. And so what I did to create these two lines was just, copy it and then replace all the mentions of the word short with long. And obviously that it didn't catch all of them for some reason. That's just human working there. Or was it here? I forgot. But anywho, I had some typos in there, and I only caught the typos during the actual trading. What also happened was the April was quite bearish, and when I go to I also changed the summary table, as you can see. What happened during April was that all of the pairs that I'm watching turned negative, so crossed to the downside, which meant for my strategy that it should sell all the positions, at least for the short position, so for the short EMA position, short EMA cross, if you want to be exact about it. And so I had to, because what I'm doing here, because the trade size when all cross negatively would be 0, I would have to divide by 0 in this line. And so I just assigned a fixed value of 0. So whatever size I'm multiplying on the short crosses and the long crosses just comes out as 0. And that pretty much solved that issue. So yeah, that was quite a bit of took me a little bit of time until I got the idea and kind of was able to work around it. I spent some time to, as I said, just reworking this table to it's where it is now at a point where it clearly says that it's going to buy something or sell something, and how much. It also gives a little bit of an overview of how much it is holding at the moment. And I'm giving an order summary here where it spits out the individual orders. What's also important are some summary of, let's call it settings, that you can apply to the strategy. So for example, some trades on some pairs just the exchange won't execute until it hits a minimum order size. That is around, let's call it $7 to $10 US. So what I found, or what I'm using, is a minimum order size of $4, just to be, somewhat safe. It will execute or it won't. We will have to see during live performance. But this is also where running a backtest is obviously an issue, because now I've introduced a new variable to the trading itself, and that would mean I would also have to backtest this particular variable or this change in the trading logic as well. And that is quite complicated to do, because I have to implement like a minimum order size in the backtest as well, instead of just buying, selling. And so as you can tell, just by introducing this little piece of code, you're changing the entire strategy, or you can mess up your entire backtest, obviously. I've also introduced one more new feature over the last week or so only, because I was looking at my GitHub issues, so where I'm keeping track of like to-dos and whatnot. And one idea that I also wanted to address is so when this is also an idea from Nick Reg, when he uses or he suggests using so what he's doing is, let's say he's trading American stocks, for example, and so he monitors the performance of the S&P. When the S&P is in an uptrend, he uses his normal calculation for a stop loss. Let's say it's a fixed stop loss at 20% below the close. But as soon as the S&P, so the index of the American stocks, turns negative, either through moving average crossover, or you monitor a Donchian channel or whatever, he reduces the stop loss size to 10%, so only half. And I really like that idea. So when the leading or the index turns bad, he adjusts positions, or he adjusts the risk in a way that that he's getting out sooner, because he's expecting the index or the stocks, the individual stocks that he's buying or that he's holding, to also become quite bearish in the near future. And as soon as the index obviously continues the trend, he can again increase the stop loss to 20%. So I kind of like that idea. What I'm doing now, let me just show you that piece of code. I haven't actually supplied a description here, I'm just realizing now. So this is just giving back a market condition multiplier that is based on the two leading, or the two biggest cryptocurrencies, which are Bitcoin and ETH. If both have a negative EMA cross on the short, with the short EMAs, I'm giving it a market condition multiplier of 0.1, so I'm initializing it with a 1. If both are negative, so if both are positive as well as the long ones, it stays at 1, obviously. So I'm just multiplying whatever risk multiplier I have with 1, so it stays where it's at. But if the two turn negative, I'm multiplying 1 by 0.5, which is 0.5. That reduces my risk already by 50%. And then if both, if the long ones are also turning negative, I'm again multiplying by 0.5, which is obviously double at that point, which means I'm multiplying whatever size I have with 0.25. And as I said, I haven't actually built the backtest for this stuff as well. One last thing I remembered by going through my Git logs was I changed the way positions are calculated away from using a fixed stop loss, because mathematically it doesn't make sense for this kind of strategy, because it doesn't actually exit the position after hitting a stop loss. And so I switched to something also Rob Carver uses in the book, historical volatility, and that just meant rewriting a whole bunch of calculations. You can see basically my position size calculation here now uses historical volatility, and that just means I have created the historical, calculate historical volatility also as a function. I'm saving the historical volatility to a column in the data frame. And then obviously we can use the historical volatility to actually calculate the position size. I'm not exactly sure where I'm doing this in the code, but I just thought I add this as an afterthought. This was quite a big change to the code base. That was my April. As you can see, some stuff happened. Most importantly, I believe bug fixing and researching the backtesting frameworks was important. I'm not quite sure if I should really go with the self-built backtesting framework or backtest, because I'm not a financial professional, and calculating all these values would mean I have to basically reinvent the wheel. So that is not what I have in mind at the moment. But if it's not that, so ideally what I would love to do is just supply my own crosses and maybe returns to the backtesting framework, and it would calculate all of its values with the values that I supply. I have found a tutorial that goes that talks about these things, but I haven't had the time to check that out. So that is going to be one of the main tasks, I believe, in May. Maybe I discover more bugs in the strategy itself, which I'm going to fix on the spot. But actually, I'm pretty happy with how this is going at the moment. It's just taking a lot of time, obviously, because I'm doing this in my free time, whenever I have time for it, basically. If you enjoy these videos, leave me a like, subscribe if you want to. You can also read my my trading blog, or log, for the lack of a better term, where I just keep track of random thoughts that I have. You can also see my real-time performance there. Every month I post a transparency report where I basically talk about my investments very transparently. I'm not giving you any shit. And if you really enjoy my stuff, you can also donate via Bitcoin or any other. Shouldn't probably donate via Bitcoin at the moment because the fees are so high. But you know what I mean. If you really enjoy my stuff, you can just send me a couple of ETH or what have you. Thank you for watching. See you until next time. Bye.